So this is a epoxy resin project that I decided to do after we cut down a tree in our backyard. The guy that did the chainsaw work, he cut it pretty level, but there were a lot of chainsaw marks and a lot of sanding to be done. Also, there was quite a bit of termite damage. The whole stump itself was hollow. I had to do some pest control before I really got started, kill some ants and termites, and then I had to fill the whole middle hollow part of the stump with concrete and river rock. Even with the river rock, it still took about 3 bags of concrete to fill this stump up. It was really hollow all the way through. Then, after hours and hours of sanding, I found some pretty rocks from all of the rock hounding trips we've gone on and different places where we found rocks and shells and stuff, and started to kind of fit them in the way I thought I wanted it to look. Just kind of got a rough idea. After that, I started filling in a lot of the termite galleries with super glue and dust, dust from the sanding, so that the epoxy resin didn't just pour all the way down through those termite galleries when I started pouring. I wanted those to be kind of sealed up as much as possible. And there were a lot, so that took a lot of super glue. It took hours and hours of sanding to get it to this point. I think I started with like 80 grit sandpaper and worked my way all the way to 600. I bought a new sander in the process about halfway through. After I was killing my my tendon at my elbow and my right arm, I went and bought a new sander, and it went a lot smoother, smooth and easy after that. So this is the arrangement of rocks that I finally settled on, rocks and seashells. And this picture is actually after the first pour of epoxy resin, just to kind of set everything in the way I wanted it. And vacuuming all along the way, to get all the sawdust out. I think it turned out really good. I'm really happy with the arrangement of everything and the way everything fit in there. And you can still see all the termite galleries and stuff. Also, I did have to deal with termites and ants all through this process. They kept coming up through those holes. So that was kind of a headache. This is after the second pour of epoxy resin. And the type that I bought had a rating that is really high UV resistant, but you can only pour 1/4 of an inch at a time. So that's why I had to do so many pours. But it was probably a good thing, because the second pour I used too much hardener, and it ended up with some cracks in it. So the subsequent pours on top of that kind of covered up those cracks, which was really good. This is the third pour, and you can see kind of the cracks and crevices and stuff are starting to fill up. And I was really happy with it at this point. I did start to realize, though, how unlevel it was, and that I was going to have to do several more pours to get it all filled in. I'm really happy with how it came out. It's not perfect, but I think for my first attempt at epoxy resin, it came out pretty darn good. Thanks for watching.